I hadn't been invited. Not this year. Not the year before. Not for the last 10. The email came on a Tuesday. The subject line tried too hard to sound cheerful, desperate even. Whitmore Family Retreat 2025. RSVP by Friday. I knew before opening it that it wasn't meant for me, but I opened it anyway. Everyone was listed. Camille, of course, her husband, her 2 kids, Aunt Janine from Savannah, Uncle Roger, still in that ridiculous fishing hat he insists on wearing in every photo, even Cousin Lily, who once stole my prom dress and denied it with a straight face. But not me. Not even a typo version of me. No Carla, no Clara. Just absence where my name should have been. That kind of exclusion doesn't announce itself. It hums. Quiet, constant. Like the low whir of a fridge in the background. Unnoticed until the silence reminds you it's gone. I sat in my office in Santa Monica, surrounded by glass walls, framed degrees, endless deadlines. A corner view I had fought to earn, yet the room still felt cold in a way California sunlight couldn't fix. I looked again at the email, at my missing name, at the empty space where I used to belong. I almost closed the laptop, almost. But instead, I opened a new tab. I typed in the name of the beach house where the retreat had always been held. A wide, whitewashed house on the Georgia coast. Porch swing, twinkle lights. The last place I saw my father laugh before his stroke silenced him. And there it was. A new listing. Not for rent. For sale. No group text. No call. Not even a polite "just so you know." The price had dropped. Seller motivated. Deed under review. I recognized the agent, the same woman who handled my grandmother's property years ago. And in that moment, I felt the air shift. They were letting it go. Quietly. The same way they had let go of me. As if I, too, were just another memory to unload. But I wasn't angry. Not yet. I turned to the bookshelf. My eyes fell on the turquoise shell my father had given me when I was 9. "You think in tides, Clara," he'd said. "Don't ever let them make you small." That was when the idea began. They could erase me from every invitation, but I still remembered how to sign one. Because the thing about erasure is, no one ever tells you when it's happening. It starts quietly. One missed call. One family photo posted without you. One empty seat at a dinner table where nobody bothers to ask why. At first, I tried. I sent Christmas gifts. I chimed in on the group thread when my name was still on it. I flew back for Thanksgivings that cost me more than a month's rent. I even offered to help with Mom's mortgage when Camille's boys needed new braces. I did what youngest daughters are supposed to do. Show up, stay quiet, be useful. But usefulness doesn't last forever. Camille always had the spotlight. Warm, photogenic, loud in a way people call charming. She hosted baby showers with signature cocktails, made matching reunion t-shirts, even once called me from Michael's just to ask whether I preferred teal or coral for the beach house table settings. I told her, I don't think I'm coming that year. She laughed lightly. That's okay, Clara. We'll save you a plate. But no one ever did. After Dad's stroke, I flew out alone. I sat in the hospital with him while Camille claimed she was too overwhelmed, and Mom said she couldn't bear to see him like that. I fed him, read Steinbeck aloud, held his hand until his voice cracked enough to whisper, "You came. That winter." I asked Mom about estate planning. Not for money, just to understand what would happen to the house, the accounts, the trust Dad had once mentioned. She smiled too tightly. "Camille and I have it covered. Don't worry your pretty head. So I stopped asking. The last time I tried to visit the beach house, the spare key was gone. Camille claimed there'd been a break-in, though I'd never heard of one. After that, I stopped trying. I sent holiday cards that went unanswered. I let them call me busy or distant in Facebook posts. One day, Mom uploaded an old photo of Camille and Dad on the beach at sunset. I remembered it instantly. I had taken it. I was standing just off frame. But Mom had cropped me out. That was the year I stopped sending gifts. But I didn't stop watching. Savannah, my old neighbor, now a paralegal, still slipped me screenshots, email threads, little fragments of the conversations I'd been cut out from. "They think you disappeared," she told me once, "but you've just been listening." She was right. I wasn't gone. I was waiting. And sometimes, the people who forget you fastest are the ones most afraid of what happens when you come back. So I didn't buy the house for revenge. I bought it because I was done pretending my absence was a mistake. The listing had been live for 13 quiet days. No announcement, no family text thread. Buried in a real estate newsletter I almost deleted. But Dad had left a back door. A clause in the trust. If taxes lapsed or insurance failed, title reassignment went directly to me. And it had lapsed. Not from tragedy, but from laziness. "Clara," Savannah said quietly, "if you want it, it's yours. No fight necessary." I didn't answer. I just stared at the turquoise shell on my desk, still unbroken after all these years. That night I opened a fresh spreadsheet. Finances, savings, assets. I wasn't rich, but I was steady. Solid. Enough. 2 days later I signed the purchase documents. No press, no notice. Just my name, properly written this time. And when the retreat weekend arrived, the guest list belonged to me. The silence did my work for me. I let them explain it among themselves, let them whisper my name. They left the front desk without a word. No shouting, no slammed doors, just stiff shoulders and silence trailing behind them like smoke. I didn't follow, I didn't need to. They knew now. That was enough, or at least I thought it was. The next morning, a news van rolled up. I saw it from the window, a white vehicle with bold blue lettering, parked just beyond the hedges. A man in a starched button-down and too much gel stood outside with a microphone, squinting into the camera like he was uncovering a national scandal. I didn't open the door, but the moment the segment aired, my phone lit up like an alarm. Texts, emails, a voicemail from an old coworker I hadn't spoken to in years. "Is this true? Did you really take your family's house through a loophole while your father was sick?" The headline blared, "Daughter exploits trust clause to oust family from generational property." They painted me as a predator in heels. The article quoted a close family source who insisted my father was in cognitive decline and tricked into signing away his legacy. No name, but I didn't need one. Camille had always known how to weaponize other people's pity. I sat with it. No tears, no public statement. Instead, I called Savannah. "Time," I said. She didn't ask for more context. 15 minutes later, she sent the file. It was meticulous, dated screenshots of texts between Camille and Mom. Messages like, "Don't worry, Clara's not coming again. She always makes everything about herself. She's too busy proving something to care about family. Don't feel guilty leaving her out. She's used to it." There were audio clips, too. A speakerphone call caught mid-lunch. Camille's voice sharp and cutting. "Clara was always too fragile for this family. Let her rot in her condo. We're better off without her." But the most important file was a video from 2 summers ago. My father sat on the back porch, a blanket wrapped around his legs, a chipped mug in his hands. I was beside him, just out of frame. His voice was soft but certain. "I want Clara to have this place," he said. "Camille makes things loud, but Clara makes things last." I hadn't watched it since the day we recorded it. I'd saved it for a moment like this. The next morning, I uploaded everything to a secure drive and sent it to a single reporter I trusted. Someone who'd once written on elder care, abuse, and inheritance battles. No captions, no commentary. Just a short note. This is the full story. Decide what matters. It never went viral. It didn't need to. By afternoon, the original headline was pulled, replaced by a quiet correction. My inbox slowed. The messages thinned. That night, Savannah texted me 3 words. "They're quiet. You ready?" I looked out the window at the black ocean under the moonlight. Yes. The courthouse smelled of dust and disinfectant. I arrived early. No entourage, no high-priced lawyer, just me. A navy dress my grandmother once called steel-willed blue, and a folder tucked tight beneath my arm. Inside was everything they never thought would see daylight. Camille was already seated when I entered, dressed in a white pantsuit, her lips pressed so flat they could have cut paper. She didn't turn around, but I saw her fingers tapping frantically. On her phone. Mom sat beside her, spine too straight, pearls trembling faintly with each breath. She glanced at me once, then quickly looked away. The clerk called the case. Whitmore versus Whitmore. Petition for injunction on disputed property, filed under undue influence and elder manipulation. Their attorney went first. Slick, tan, too young to remember dial-up internet. He tossed around words like intent, vulnerability, caution. He called me unhinged, pausing before the word so it stung louder. I didn't flinch. When my turn came, I stood. No theatrics, just the truth. Your Honor, I'd like to submit video and audio evidence regarding the trust and my father's clear intent. The judge nodded, glasses slipping slightly down his nose as the bailiff dimmed the lights. The video played, my father wrapped in that old blanket, voice calm. I want Clara to have this place. Camille makes things loud. Clara makes things last. She was the only one who came after the fall. The only one who never asked for anything. He paused, looked straight at the camera and said, "It's not about fairness. It's about memory." The room shifted. Mom blinked too fast. Camille's jaw clenched. Then came the audio. Camille's voice. Let her rot in her condo. She was never part of this family. She should have been easier to control. Silence followed. Not shocked silence, but resignation. The judge leaned back, tapped his pen twice. This court finds no grounds for the petition. The evidence confirms clarity of mind and direct intention from the deceased. The language used by the plaintiff suggests exclusion, not misunderstanding. He removed his glasses. This court does not mend emotional wounds. It enforces law. And in this case, the law is clear. The gavel struck. Petition denied. Camille stood, fists tight but motionless. Mom stayed seated, eyes glassy but dry. I gathered my folder and walked out without looking back. On the courthouse steps, reporters swarmed. One microphone slipped forward, a half-formed question hanging in the air. Do you have anything you'd like to say to your family? I paused long enough. No, I said. I already did. I just used quieter words. Then I kept walking. The house was quiet when I returned. No suitcases on the porch, no voices echoing through the halls, just the hum of the ocean and the faint rattle of wind against loose shutters. Inside, it looked the same but felt lighter, like something had been drained out of it. Noise, maybe, or denial. I moved slowly through each room, running my fingers along the banister's wood grain, smoothing the rug's corner in the hall, letting silence show me what had stayed and what was gone. In the office, once Dad's, then Grandma's, I opened the bottom drawer of the old desk, the one no one had emptied. Inside was the wind chime we'd made together. Seashells strung on fishing line. Blue thread frayed, knots loose. My 9-year-old handwriting still faint on one shell. CWI. Sat on the floor, cross-legged like a child, and began untangling it. I didn't fix it to make it pretty. I fixed it because not everything has to be perfect to matter. When Savannah arrived, she carried wine and paper towels. "You didn't think I'd let you claim victory without cleaning windows, did you?" she teased. We worked in silence. 2 women scrubbing away more than dust. Scrubbing away years of dismissal, years of being the footnotes in someone else's story. At sunset, I hung the wind chime outside the kitchen window. It caught the breeze as if it remembered how to dance. Later, as we sat on the porch, Savannah asked, "What now?" I looked toward the horizon. They said I left, that I drifted, but I never went anywhere. I paused. They just chose not to see me. We didn't toast. We didn't celebrate. We just sat there, glasses in hand, watching the sea breathe. That night, I turned off the lights room by room, from the inside. If this story stirred something in you, something quiet, something you haven't spoken aloud in years, you're not alone. There are more of us than you think. People who didn't leave. We were simply never called back. And if you've ever been written out of your own story, leave a word below. Just one word. So silence doesn't win this time.